Nammilk Father Series, What's Inside You Matters. Continue to nourish your creativity as well as tenacity with the purest milk, which is Nammilk. I get excited when I've got people in studio with me because it's all laughs, it's all play, it's all happy energy. And honestly, this right here is what I love most about it, right? Now, joining me in studio, yes, we've been on this topic of present dads, but he's a different kind of dad, if I could say that myself, hey? He's known as the dog father. This particular gentleman is a 33-year-old entrepreneur. He specializes in all aspects of dog care. He's the founder of Poza as a comprehensive dog care business and is also very much celebrated for his dedication to educating Namibian dog owners while still sharing his heartwarming journey as a dog trainer. Please do help me welcome to the Fresh FM studios. Definitely not a first time that he's been in our presence, Mathew Ipinge, or Mathew, the dog father. Hey Mathew, how you doing? I'm good, thank you. How's your day been so far?
No, it's been going well. Got to do a lot of some work in the morning, and now I get to hang out with the guys, so it's lovely.
I love it. The last time you were here, you came alone.
Yes.
Today you came back and you brought the entire family.
The entire gang, pets included.
So I love it. We've got a Rottweiler puppy. Yes, in your arms. We've got Toya, who's just holding on and hugging to this puppy. Toya is your niece, yes?
Yes, and it's actually her puppy.
Oh, it's her puppy.
That's why the attachment is the way it is.
Oh my goodness, so adorable. And then we've got Twapewa. Twapewa, how are you doing this afternoon, darling? How are you?
Fine.
Are you fine? How was your day?
It was good.
It was good?
Yes.
Can you tell, you call him, what do you call Uncle Mathew?
Mummies.
Mummies. That's a very special name. Can you tell Mummies that after this, he owes you ice cream? Tell him. You don't want to tell him that? Oh, wow. So in this edition of Kitty's Perspective, we are getting into learning more about each other, basically, as well as learning more about Mathew, the dog father. But I did feel like we could take a little bit of a twist to it, right? So Mathew, earlier, Twapewa did tell me, she was like, Auntie Delilah, I actually only have one question for Uncle Mathew, so maybe I can keep my question to the very end of the session. And I was like, girl, we are all about saving the best for last in this studio, so we will do just that, right? But then I also thought you probably get very, very curious about what's in Twapewa's mind, what she thinks about certain things as well, right? So I thought this might be a perfect opportunity for you to ask her some questions. Are you open to that?
I'm open to the concept.
You're open to that? Awesome. So if given the platform, what is the first question you would want to ask Twapewa?
So you're the timing right about now.
You should see the scene in studio. Toya and the Rottweiler and the dog father. And Twapewa is just here like, guys, are you paying me per minute or per hour? Because I need to speak to my momager on this one.
I think more than anything, I'd probably just like to know if she's enjoying school, because she's extremely introverted, and she built a little safety net at home. And she found a lot of safety being at home with growing up. And then when she started school, I was always sort of eager to know how she was transitioning in. And I never really would take the time out to ask her, because I would just allow her to build her confidence. But given the chance now, I'd really like to know, like, Twapewa, do you enjoy going to school? Do you enjoy going to school?
Yes.
A lot?
Yes.
Every day? Who's your best friend at school?
Peo.
Peo. Is that a boy or a girl?
A girl.
Okay. Better be.
What do you enjoy most about school, darling? Is it playing with your best friend, or is it attending the classes? What is your favorite part about it?
Playing with my best friend.
Playing with your best friend. Okay. Now, I know your uncle is known as the dog father, so he's always having puppies, always having dogs all over the place. Do you own a puppy? Do you own a puppy? You own a puppy. Okay. Mathew, would you like to ask her a question that's puppy related?
Twapewa, who's your favorite doggy friend?
Iris.
Iris. Who's Iris? Where does Iris stay?
She stays at the back.
Where?
She stays at the back at home.
At the back at home. Yeah, so Iris is one of the parents of the puppies actually. So she's the mom. There's Alpha and Iris.
Is the Rottweiler sleeping in your arms?
Delilah, it's dog father for a reason.
This puppy is literally taking a nap in your arms.
Yeah.
Well, we're having multiple conversations happening in the studio. Wow, I am impressed.
Yeah, but at this age, they're dozing off every 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's interesting. Tell me, have you always had a passion for dogs, or at which stage did that come about?
It was curiosity more than anything. I got bit by a dog when I was late high school, which sparked the curiosity. So I always sort of observed them from a distance. I wasn't allowed to own one growing up, so I wouldn't say I was passionate. But I was extremely curious. The passion only came once I got to actually owning one. Then I realized how much I actually enjoy being around them. But before that, I was curious about them till one bit me, and then I just sort of kept a fearful curiosity from a distance, if that makes sense.
Fearful curiosity.
Yeah, where you don't understand what happened. You don't want to get close enough to get bit again, but at the same time, you can't stay away to such an extent that you are fully gone. So it's like peeking by the window to just get enough information till I could now make friends that had dog experience, and they are the ones that allowed me then to get past that fear, and then the passion kicked in. Yeah.
I must say, I'm a serious dog lover, right? And people don't believe me because I own a bunny. But at the same time, I'm always like, the reason why I own a bunny is because I have such a busy schedule, and dogs love attention. Yeah. So how do you balance that? Family time, spending time with Toya, with Pewa, with Twapewa as well, and still at the same time nurturing and taking care of all these dogs, because it's not only your dogs that you look after now, it's Namibia's dogs, basically.
In the past, it used to be much harder with the living arrangements that I had, but now I've moved to Stadirof, where I'm renting a full house with a full yard, and that's properly dedicated to catering to dog services. So now I get to live where I work.
Wow.
Yeah, so when I wake up, I'm dive straight into it. When I go home, like now for every chance I get when I get home, I'm working. So sometimes I'll be 9 in the evening, 10 in the evening, 2 in the morning, 3, 4. At whatever point you hear a sound or you have a dog that's ill that needs any kind of caretaking, then you can cater to them. So then I also have an employee that lives on the premises.
Oh,
so
wow.
He also facilitates, he allows me to do interviews like this. I can
while he's managing
everything. Yeah. So it's actually a 2-man team at the moment at home. And then I have another employee, Elia. He does mostly dog walking. Then he'll alert me if a client's dog has ticks, for example, or this dog is limping. Maybe we should consider a trip to the vet, that type of thing. And then we also have now a PA who will then help me with more on the PR side of things.
Okay, managing the calls, the bookings, and all that stuff.
So it's essentially like all the 3 of us work for her. So she tells us where to be, what time to be there, because we are more based on the animal side of things, and she's on the human aspect of dynamics.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear you speak, and literally the word passion is just forming in my mind constantly, because I love my job. Don't get me, I love my job. But if I had to live at work, that's you can't pay me enough to do that. And if you have to create a home environment that doubles as your office workspace, I think that is a true understanding as to what passion really is about. Now, Mathew, you are a professional when it comes to all things dog related, and everybody holds you at such a high regard in knowing and having information about dogs, right? And we know that the seasons are changing. Obviously, it's summer, it's getting a lot hotter outside. Do you have any essential tips, maybe 1 or 2, that you could share with our dog owners?
Okay, we'll start with some of the basics. With puppies and just any kind of dog, actually, the first thing you want to do is just get the vaccinations out of the way. Make sure your dog is fully vaccinated. The rabies vaccine is actually compulsory in the country for dogs older than 14 months old, between 12 and 14 months old, yeah. So that one's actually, you're obliged to have it done for your dog. Considering, like you said, that it's summer, it's tick season, tick and flea season. So now you've got ticks and flies just popping out of nowhere all over again. So now this is really the time where you want to focus on dipping your dogs and keeping a fly repellent on their face. We're going to go to exercise afterward, which is how you keep your dog calm and not destroying anything in your yard. It's always good to at least expose them to at least 3 to 4 walks in a week. And if you're not able to do that, then just remain present in checking in on them. Check in on them. Ask how their day was. They probably won't respond to anything, but they can feel the energy you are sending to them by your body language, because you are being genuine in the question you're asking and the energy you are portraying over to them. So sometimes it's not so much that your dog needs a lot of exercise. They just need you to be present in their lives. That alone keeps them then sane.
Okay.
Yeah, and then lastly, I would say just focus on socializing your dog to as many aspects as possible, from noise to moving in the car, other dogs, kids, your friends, and so on, because the habits you create in your dog in the first year are the dog you experience for the next 12 to 14 years, considering that that's how long your dog is going to live for.
Wow.
Yeah, so after the first year, it's not much, it becomes slightly harder to teach the dog new tricks, but essentially, if you can focus on just what you need from the dog in the first year, that becomes the foundation of what you get to experience over the next 12 to 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, in your role of being an uncle, right? What do you believe is the most special part of taking up this particular role? Especially because Toya and Twapewa call you mummies, right? So how do you feel about that nickname? How did that nickname come about? How did we get there?
With the nickname, I actually don't remember how it came about. Twapewa somehow decided my name is Mummies, maybe because I'm related to her mother and her name is Mummy, so it rounded off to the nearest name. But she's in the habit, she's in the habit of just sort of freewheeling our names, because her older sister's name is Tuna, but she converted it to Noni.
Wow.
Now
I don't see the link.
They don't exactly. And what's fascinating is Twapewa created both names, and when Latoya was born, she carried over, or she took over actually both names. So now Noni is still Noni and Mummies is still Mummies. And that's not even the fascinating, or the most fascinating part for me is how they're both able to switch between their mom and I in conversation. So they'll be talking to both of us in the car and they'll go, Mummy this, and then Mummy's this, like switch 1, 2, 1, 2 in a split second.
And are you able to keep up with that? Like to keep up with, okay, she added an S, they removed the S.
Yeah, fortunately, I just listen for the S. I'm always listening for the S. Sometimes, this has nothing to do with you, because it's probably like something to do with
school,
yeah.
or I need this and I need that.
Yeah,
and then they mention a dog, and then you're like, okay, it's probably me.
Yeah, usually you hear that S and you know it's your turn.
Goodness. Okay. So I do know Twapewa wanted to ask you a question regarding to spending time with her, but I've got a more challenging question that I want to put to the table. Twapewa, am I allowed to put a more challenging question to the table? Yes, no? Yes? Okay, she's nodding her head in agreement. So Twapewa has given me the power to be able to do this. You're in a room, you're locked in a room, right?
Delilah.
Now, right, to escape this room, you have to write down one on this piece of paper. Will you be writing down a puppy, or will you be writing down Twapewa and Latoya's name as your most loved?
Naturally.
Closest to your heart.
Oh no, naturally it's going to be them.
Of course it has to be them.
It has to be, yeah. It's going to be them every day of the week.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Mathew, we really appreciate you taking the time out to join me in studio today. In fact, I love the fact that you went the extra mile and you brought the Rottweiler here, and Toya is busy playing with the Rottweiler. Rottweiler is napping in your arms. We've got Twapewa who's just here like, my momager, please. Did I get water? I didn't have my yogurt that I ordered. And where's my pizza? And we've got mom, we've got dad, we've got a full house in the studio. So thank you for making the time to join us today.
No, thank you for having us.
Actually, wait. You're here as a father figure, right? So that automatically means you fall in the category of dad, because you are the dog father. So that also means that you should know jokes. Mathew, I need you to drop 1 or 2 dad jokes for me.
Any at all.
Any at all. It needs to make me laugh. It needs to be something funny. It needs to really get me going.
Okay. Let's see. Do they have to be a dog theme related?
I mean, bonus points if they are, but we won't limit your creativity.
Okay.
Let's see what you got.
All right. Let me try something off the top of my head here.
Okay.
Delilah, why do you feel dogs make terrible dancers?
I almost said because they got 2 left feet, but they've got 4, so that doesn't make them. Technically, they've got paws.
Okay, they actually do have 2 left feet, if you think about it.
Wait, what?
They actually do have 2 left feet because it's the form.
Because there are 2 left feet. 2 right, 2 left. That's a good one.
You're actually cutting into my jokes, Delilah. Like, you're not supposed to respond like that.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I just had to. Do you have another one for me?
Why did the dog get into the shade?
Why did the dog get into the shade? That's a tough one. To get to the other side.
Because he didn't want to be a hot dog.
Nice one. Mathew, thank you so much for joining us today. That was Mathew, the dog father, founder of Poza. As do reach out to them for their services as well. Thank you for listening to Nammilk, the Father series. What's inside you matters. So continue to nourish your creativity as well as your tenacity with the purest milk, and that is Nammilk.
Nammilk, pure goodness.